Some of you have been talking about greatness for years and still living the same day on repeat. Some of you have been talking about greatness for years and still living the same day on repeat. Listen to me. You posting your plans on Instagram like the internet gonna build your future for you. You lied about the goal, but your laptop's still closed. You keep telling people you are locked in, but the only thing locked is your potential because you won't stop talking long enough to do something with it. Some of you have been shouting about your dreams for 5 straight years, and you still in the exact same place. You loud, but you not moving. That's the problem. That's the pain. You think the world needs another announcement, but the truth is the world needs to see something different from you. And right now, you ain't giving it nothing but noise. I remember when I was sitting on that cold floor, broke, time frustrated with my own excuses. And I wasn't mad at the world. Nah, I was mad at me. Mad because my mouth was doing more heavy lifting than my grind. Every time someone asked me how I was doing, I had a story. I'm about to do this. I'm getting ready to start that. I'm just waiting on the right moment. But deep down, I knew I wasn't doing anything but hiding behind words. One day, I got so embarrassed with my own talk that I shut up. I stopped telling people what I was gonna do. I closed the door, disappeared, and I started working. No announcement, no noise, just sweat, just silence. And when I came back, my life didn't match my old story anymore. That's what silence does. It lets the work speak so loud that you don't have to tell. See, the real problem isn't that you don't have the ability. You got gifts. You got ideas. You got potential for days. The problem is you talk yourself out of hunger. Every time you say, I'm about to start, your brain releases the same little dopamine hit as if you actually did start. That's science. That's psychology. When you tell the world your goals too early, your brain thinks you already accomplished something. And because you feel good, you stop moving. This is why you never follow through. This is why you keep restarting every month. You're satisfying yourself with the announcement instead of the achievement. You're feeding yourself crumbs when you're supposed to be eating meals. Your brain is getting rewarded for nothing. That's why you feel stuck. You're rewarding the wrong behavior. Stop lying to yourself. You know you could be further. You know you're procrastinating. You know you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's not the world holding you back. It's not your environment. It's the fact that you keep speaking victories you haven't fought for yet. Whoa, look, I love you, but I'm not gonna lie to you. As long as your mouth is louder than your grind, your life will stay exactly where it is. That's the truth. So here's the tool. Here's the rule. I want you to tattoo this on your mindset and stop talking, start working, stay silent. That's it. That's the whole formula. Before you tell anybody your next move, stop. Before you post that big plans coming soon story, stop. Before you tell your cousin, your friend, your coworker what you're about to start on Monday, stop. Replace your announcement with action. Replace the story with step. Replace the noise with execution. Make this your new spiritual discipline. You don't talk until let me show you how simple this is. Let's say you want to start the gym. Don't tell nobody. Just set your alarm. Wake up. Put your shoes on. Hit the treadmill. Nobody needs a motivational post. Nobody needs your day one update. Let the sweat do the talking. Or maybe you started a business. Don't tell your group chat. Don't tell your cousin who never started anything in their life. Don't post about working on something big. Just open the laptop, make the logo, build the page. Study the blueprint. When you get paid from the first client, trust me, people will know. Or maybe you healing. Maybe you trying to grow. You ain't got to explain to nobody why you quiet, why you distant, why you focused. Just heal, just grow, just do the work. Silence is not weakness. Silence is your strategy. When you do this, something powerful happens inside you. You start to build a different identity. You stop being the talker, the starter, the almost a person. You become the finisher. You become the one who don't need applause to move. You become the one whose results walk into rooms before you even show up. People start saying, yo, they different. They serious. They growing. Not because you say you are growing, but because you move like someone who's growing. You start trusting yourself again because you're finally keeping promises to you. And most of all, you stop depending on validation and start depending on discipline. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you become undeniable. So here's my challenge to you. Try this today, not tomorrow, not next week. today. Don't tell nobody your next move for 30 days. Replace every announcement with action. Replace every excuse with execution. Replace every I'm about to with the E. And at the end of 30 days, I promise you, your life won't look the same. Not because you said something, but because you finally did something. Stop talking, start working, stay silent. Your future deserves that version of you. You keep asking for a breakthrough, but you answering every call, every DM, every notification like it's your job to be available for everybody except yourself. You want to grow, but you won't disconnect from the very things killing your focus. You want change, but you keep feeding distractions like they're your pets. Listen to me. If you don't get serious about eliminating the noise, your destiny will get drowned out before it even starts speaking. You don't have time to wait. You don't have time to play. You don't have time to play. Every minute you give to nonsense is a minute you're stealing from your purpose. That's the truth. I remember when I was trying to level up, when I was deciding who I wanted to become, people were calling me all day. Cousins, neighbors, co-workers, folks who didn't want nothing but to gossip, complain, talk about stuff that was never gonna feed my family or heal my future. And the crazy part, I kept answering because I didn't want to seem rude, didn't want to disappoint nobody, didn't want them thinking I changed. But I was losing me trying to please everybody else. One day I woke up and said, I'm done. I stopped answering every call. I stopped reacting to every vibration on my phone. I stopped letting other people's emergencies become my distractions. And guess what? My life started to accelerate. Not because I became smarter, not because I got more talented, simply because I stopped wasting time on stuff that didn't matter. That's the part you gotta hear. You want success, but you're acting like somebody who's comfortable. You give your time away like it's free. You open your phone first thing in the morning, and instead of feeding your spirit, you feeding your addictions. You letting strangers on social media set your mood before you even set your intentions. Stop lying to yourself. You know this already. You know those distractions are draining you. You know you feel empty after mindless scrolling. You know half the conversations you have every day don't push you forward. They pull you down. The real problem isn't lack of motivation. It's lack of boundaries. Let me give you the science. Your brain is addicted to stimulation. Every ping, every buzz, every red notification releases dopamine, the same chemical associated with pleasure. But here's the dangerous part. Dopamine doesn't care if the action's productive or destructive. So the more you respond to distractions, the more your brain learns to seek them. Every unnecessary message you reply to rewires your brain to crave more interruptions. You training your mind to be scattered. You conditioning yourself to be unfocused. That's why you can't sit still. That's why you can't stay focused for 10 minutes without checking your phone. Your brain thinks distraction is the reward, but freedom starts when you break that cycle. So here's the tool. Here's the rule I want you to adopt. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. If it doesn't grow you, you don't give it access. If it doesn't build you, it doesn't get your time. If it doesn't push you toward your purpose, it doesn't get a response. Simple. And before you say, but what if someone needs me? Let me help you. If they truly need you, they'll call twice. They'll leave a voice message. They'll find a way. You don't owe instant access to anyone. Your destiny needs space, not noise. Now let me show you how to actually do this. Let's say you're working on something important. Put your phone in another room, not on silent, not flipped over, another room. You don't need it next to you while you're trying to build a better life. Or maybe your friend calls you to talk about drama for the 5th time this week. You don't have to be rude. Just say, hey, I'm working on something right now. I'll talk to you later. Protect your energy. Or maybe you scroll social media every time you feel bored. Replace that with a habit that feeds you. Read for 10 minutes. Listen to something inspiring. Write your goals. Do something that adds to you instead of drains you. Let silence be your shield. Let boundaries be your power. And yes, at first it'll feel weird. You'll feel guilty. You'll feel like you're losing people. But let me tell you something with love. The people you lose when you focus were never aligned with your future in the first place. When you learn to cut distractions, you step into a new identity. You become someone who values their time. You become someone who honors their calling. You become someone who others can't manipulate, can't drain, can't distract. Because you're rooted in purpose, you become someone who moves with intentionality, someone who invests their time like currency, someone whose peace cannot be purchased by the chaos of the world. That's power. That's maturity. That's purpose. So here's my challenge to you today. For the next 24 hours, I want you to track every distraction, every unnecessary DM, every scroll session, every pointless conversation. And I want you to ask yourself, did this feed my future or steal it? If it stole your time, cut it. If it stole your energy, block it. If it stole your focus, eliminate it. Do it today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, because your future is too big to keep losing to small distractions. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it truly does. You keep saying you're working in silence, but the moment you post it, you're not silent anymore. You want credit for being quiet. You want applause for being low-key. You want people to admire your discipline before you've even developed it. Beethoven developed it. Listen to me. If you have to announce silence, you are already broke it. Silence isn't something you talk about. Silence is something you become. And the truth is, most of you are terrified of silence because silence forces you to face yourself. When there's no noise, no audience, no validation, you have to confront the real you. And that scares you more than failure ever has. I remember the season of my life when it felt like the whole world had backed away from me. I wasn't the popular one. I wasn't the successful one. I wasn't the motivational one. I was the guy sitting in a quiet room with a book and a dream, feeling like nobody cared. And you know what? They didn't. Folks weren't checking in. Nobody was clapping. Nobody was posting me. Nobody was waiting on my greatness to show up. It was just me and God, me and discipline, me and pain, me and responsibility. That silence almost broke me, but it's exactly where God rebuilt me. That's where my hunger woke up. That's where I realized I wasn't missing people. I was missing purpose. That silence was the birthplace of every version of me that came after. The real problem, you're afraid of being alone with your own expectations. You're afraid of sitting in a room with no distractions, no noise, no audience, just you and the truth about how much work you still need to do. So you keep talking, you keep posting, you keep telling people, I'm grinding, I'm focusing, I'm working on myself. Oh, not because you're actually grinding, but because you're trying to escape the discomfort of silence. Stop lying to yourself, you know this already. You don't want silence. You want recognition. You want a little applause to keep you motivated. You want someone to say, I'm proud of you. You want validation for a journey you haven't walked yet. That's why you're exhausted. You're trying to get public approval for private work you haven't done. Let me break down the psychology for you. Your brain associates silence with vulnerability. When there's no noise, your mind starts pulling up truth. Truth about your habit, your patterns, your inconsistencies, in the brain hates discomfort, so it pushes you to seek stimulation. That's why when you try to sit still, you get restless. When you try to focus, you reach for your phone. When you try to think, you pull up social media. It's not because you're lazy. It's because your brain is wired to escape discomfort. But growth lives inside discomfort. Clarity lives inside. Transformation lives in places where the world isn't talking to you. If you can't sit with silence, you will never sit inside your purpose. So here's your tool, your new rule. Silence your world so your spirit can speak. Give yourself permission to disappear for a season. Not from responsibility, not from life, but from noise, from distractions, from trying to impress people who aren't even watching you. I want you to set aside 30 minutes a day, just 30, and sit with yourself. No phone, no music, no YouTube, no social media. Just you, your thoughts, your reality. Let the silence tell you the truth. Let the silence expose the areas you've been avoiding. Let the silence remind you who you really are. Let me show you exactly how this works. In the morning, before you pick up your phone, sit in silence for 10 minutes, breathe, think. Let your mind settle before the world starts screaming at you. During your lunch break, take 5 minutes. No scrolling. Just check in with yourself. Ask, am I acting like the person I said I would become today? before bed. Give yourself 10 more minutes. Reflect, review, heal. You don't need a wellness coach. You don't need a retreat. You need silence. Or maybe you're trying to build a business, a body, a healthier mind. Stop announcing every move. When you're silent about the plan, you protect it from doubt, comparison, and people who don't understand where God is taking you. Silence turns your focus sharp. Silence builds emotional muscle. Silence removes the energy leaks in your life. Silence is not loneliness, it's leadership. When you master silence, you build a different identity. You become someone who doesn't need validation to move, someone who trusts themselves more than opinions, someone who hears God clearer because the world is quieter, someone whose confidence comes from consistency, not compliments, someone unshakable, someone rooted, someone whole. You become someone who can't be thrown off by noise because your foundation was built in silence, and that version of you, that's the version God's been waiting on. So here's your challenge today. Disengage from noise for the next 24 hours. Limit your reactions. Don't chase conversations. Don't explain your goals. Don't defend your decisions. Don't seek attention. Let silence be your protection. Let silence be your training ground. Let silence reset your mind. Let silence rebuild you. Try it today, not tomorrow. Your destiny is whispering, but you'll never hear it if the world is louder than your calling. Silence your world so your spirit can speak. You don't have time to wait. Your evolution begins in the quiet. You want the reward, but you don't want the work. You want the success story, but you don't want the sacrifice. You want the celebration, the travel, the lifestyle, the freedom, but you haven't even finished the introduction of your grind. Listen to me. Nothing changes until you execute. Your dreams don't care about your intentions. Your goals don't care about your feelings. Your future does not unlock because you will want it. It unlocks when you show up, when you stop negotiating with laziness, when you stop letting comfort run your life. You don't have time to wait. So this is the part where discipline has to start speaking louder than your excuses. I remember a time when everybody around me had something going on, new jobs, new homes, new opportunities, and I felt stuck. I felt behind. I felt like life was passing me while I was standing still. But one day I told myself the truth. It wasn't life passing me. It was me not showing up. I was reading. I was planning. I was talking, but I wasn't executing. I was living in preparation mode, procrastination mode, almost ready mode. I had become so addicted to it getting ready that I forgot what it felt like to actually do something. And when I finally got sick of being sick, when I finally got tired of watching everybody else live the life I kept dreaming about, that's when execution became my new oxygen. That's when everything changed. The real problem is you keep trying to skip the ugly part of the journey. You want the highlight reel without the behind the scenes grind. You want the transformation without the repetition. You want the body, but not the early mornings. You want the income, but not the late nights. You want the purpose, but not the pruning. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I feel ready. Stop lying to yourself. You know this already. If you only work when you feel like it, you will never get anywhere worth going. Let me break down the psychology for you. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It wants easy. It wants comfort. It wants familiarity. Every time you try to level up, your brain triggers resistance, fear, doubt, procrastination, fatigue. Not because you're weak, but because your mind is trying to protect you from discomfort. But execution requires discomfort. Discipline requires discomfort. Growth requires discomfort. When you fight for comfort, you kill your calling. When you embrace discomfort, you unlock your destiny. So here's the tool, the rule I want you to live by from this moment on. Do it before you feel ready. That's it. That's the unlock. Stop waiting on motivation. Start relying on movement. Stop waiting for clarity. Start building momentum. Your feet should move even when your feelings don't. You execute without permission. You execute without applause. You execute without the perfect condition. Let me show you exactly how to apply this. Let's say you want to start going to the gym. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the perfect workout plan. Put your shoes on and walk for 10 minutes. That's execution. You want to start a business? Stop telling people I'm working on something big. Open your laptop and spend 20 minutes doing one concrete task. Design a logo, make an outline, research one competitor. That's execution. Oh, you want a better life? Stop scrolling successful people and start acting like one. Set a timer for 25 minutes and do focus work. No distractions, no breaks. No excuses. That's execution. Execution isn't about doing everything. It's about doing something every day. Repetition is what builds the muscle. Consistency is what builds the identity. And when you start executing daily, even in small ways, something shifts inside you. You become someone who doesn't rely on motivation. Someone who does what needs to be done, even when it's not convenient. Someone who is no longer controlled by their feeling, but led by their purpose. Someone others start looking at differently, not because you talk different, but because you talk different, you become dangerous. You become consistent. You become dependable. You become unstoppable. You become someone success can trust. You become someone your future can rely on. You become someone you're finally proud of. But none of that happens until you execute. So here's my challenge, the final one. For the next 7 days, execute before you feel ready. Not next week, not next month. Today, wake up and act. Don't post it. Don't announce it. Don't debate it. Do it. If you said you'd read one page, if you said you work out, do 10 push-ups. If you said you build a business, complete one task. If you said you'd heal, sit with yourself for 10 minutes. Execution is not about perfection. It's about permission. Give yourself permission to begin. Give yourself permission to build. Give yourself permission to become the version of you keep imagining. You don't have time to wait. You don't have time to play. You don't have time to keep starting over. This is your life. This is your moment. Execute now. Celebrate later. Because once you start moving with purpose, the world won't be able to deny what God is doing through you. Execute before you feel and watch your entire life shift.